Hello, everybody. This is Advocate Lucinda, your empowerment lawyer, where we are going to continue our conversation regarding defendants' 12B motion defenses and ways in which plaintiff can pierce those defenses. Yesterday, we dealt with lack of subject matter jurisdiction, and today we're going to do lack of personal jurisdiction, part 2. So let's get started. Whenever the court hears a case, it must have personal jurisdiction over the parties involved. Personal jurisdiction is present when a court has the authority to make a binding decision over all the parties involved in a lawsuit. And let me say that again. Personal jurisdiction is present when a court has the authority to make a binding decision over all the parties involved in a lawsuit. A court will have personal jurisdiction over parties who live in the state where the court is located. But what happens when one of the parties do not live in the same state as the court? Think about that. Well, let's illustrate here. Let's say Georgia files a lawsuit against Michigan in Michigan. Well, the court has personal jurisdiction over plaintiff because courts are almost always assumed to have personal jurisdiction over a plaintiff because by plaintiff bringing a lawsuit before a court, the plaintiff has consented to the court's authority, and the court now has personal jurisdiction over the plaintiff. Now, let's say that Georgia files her lawsuit against Michigan in Georgia. And it happens where the plaintiff files the lawsuit in the court in their state. Of course, Michigan could protest that, but nevertheless, these are the facts. Most states have what is known as long-arm statute that allows state courts to gain personal jurisdiction over non-residents, and now Michigan would be a non-resident if that non-resident has had at least minimum contact with the state. The United States Supreme Court has held that the minimum contact requirement will be satisfied if the activity that is the basis of the lawsuit took place in the state where the court is located. So, if Michigan, who is now a non-resident because Georgia filed the lawsuit in Georgia, and Michigan, 1, has property in Georgia, for example, or 2, if Michigan visits Georgia, which is the activity that is the basis of the lawsuit, and is given notice of the lawsuit while in Georgia, minimum contact has been met and personal jurisdiction attaches. And lastly, the federal courts will apply the long-arm statutes of the state that it is located in to determine personal jurisdiction. For example, the federal courts located in Texas would apply Texas personal jurisdiction laws. So as you see, personal jurisdiction can be a little tricky, but just follow your facts and you'll know how to assert personal jurisdiction. This is part 2. Tomorrow we will continue with part 3, improper venue. And I will leave a link for part 1 and for part 2 at the bottom of the description page of this video. And for the next 5 videos, I will also leave the link so that you can go back and review them together. So by the end of this presentation, week 7, you will have all 7 defenses, and you can review them as you wish. Okay? I look forward to being with you tomorrow. I'm Advocate Lucinda, your empowerment lawyer. Take care.